Mikio Aoki begins our action tonight as the chip leader with almost 4.9 million. In 2014, she finished second in this event and now returns to complete her mission. The other big stack of our final five is Deborah Brooke, enjoying her first ever World Series of Poker cash. She also with more than 4 million chips. On their heels, though, are three similar stacks. As we look left to right, Diane Cooley, JJ Lim, and Laura Eisenberg, all with 1.2 million. Five remain in this 2021 World Series of Poker Ladies Championship. Tonight, one of them will win their first gold bracelet. Hello, everybody. I'm Lon McCarron, lucky enough to be joined by Jamie Kerstetter and Jennifer Tilley for the call of tonight's action. We got down to our final table last night, down to 5, and now we will bring you the rest of the action. We take a look now at the chip stacks. Oki and Brooke over 4 million, and then as mentioned, three other stacks in the 1.2 million range. Ching Lu finished at 6th. Marley Cardero 7th, Cheris Andrews in 8th, and Tiffany Lee in 9th place of the 644 entries. All of them battling for their very first World Series of Poker bracelets. We take a look at the payouts brought to you by Cuervo. There are no strangers. 115,694 up top. And you see everyone guaranteed fifth place money of over $26,000. And so this should be a lot of fun. As mentioned, joined by two of my favorites, Oscar nominated for '94 film, Bullets Over Broadway. Tiffany Valentine in the Chucky movies, voice of Bonnie Swanson on Family Guy, ladies champion of the World Series of Poker in '05, Canadian and U.S. citizenship by birth, so we know she's got a good heart. Always glad to have her nearby. Jennifer Tilley, thank you.
Hi, Lon. I'm really happy to be here. The ladies event is near and dear to my heart, and it's so exciting to be here calling this final table.
We'll get to Jamie in just a second, as we do have a hand developing right off the bat. Eisenberg raising with 8s. JJ Liu, who had been one of the big stacks forever in this tournament with pocket aces, 3 bets to 300,000.
I think here's a situation where JJ's aggressive image is going to work for her, because these girls have been playing together for quite a while, and I think Eisenberg thinks she's maybe being pushed around a little bit.
Next to Liu, Eisenberg, the most experienced, and you look at results, the most prolific, I guess, casher of the group, but she's way behind JJ Liu, who's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I play with Lou a lot of times. She's a formidable person at the poker table. She's somebody that Eisenberg might re-raise her. She could re-raise her all in.
She does give it up.
She folds, wow.
Good fold.
Good fold.
Saved herself a lot of chips. And so to complete my intro, Jamie Kerstetter, born in New Jersey, self-disbarred attorney, little known fact, washed-up soccer player. Only her quick wit and her smarts and her dog Crouton, almost as famous as my poker dog Chachi, really saving her. Jen was also Oscar nominated, as mentioned. Little known fact, Jamie actually won the Oscar that year for that movie. And so Jamie hasn't won the ladies championship as Jen has. She did run her pocket queens into ace king and her ace queen into king queen to bust out on day 2. Little known fact. Glad you're here.
Thanks a lot, Lon. Always happy to see you, Lon.
Jamie will be joining Norman, Chad, and I in the booth for this year's main event coverage, which you can watch on Poker Go. So, how is this going to play out? I mean, nervous early on. We all talked to them ahead of time, and they didn't seem that nervous. But is it going to start out a little slow? We had a chance to have a big hand early on.
I think Aoki has a really big advantage, having gotten second in this event before, just knowing what it's like to be in this pressure situation, where we look at the bios of most of the other women besides JJ, and most don't have very high amounts in earnings, and they probably haven't been at a feature table with all the lights and cameras and everything. So I kind of think I would be pretty nervous at the start if I've never been in this spot before.
What do you think of this 3-bet sizing, though? That's monstrous.
She put her all in. Yeah, I think she's trying to apply the pressure. When you're the big stack, you really just want to put fear, and still if you're in the smaller stacks, obviously JJ's not going to call unless she's you know, it'd be sort of a loose call. I think she's Hollywooding a little
I
bit.
did not see her drinking before the
Yeah.
show started, so I think she's probably gonna fold.
Yeah, she's Hollywooding. She doesn't want the other girls to think she's, you know, speeding, especially since she had the pocket aces in the hand before. She doesn't need to go to battle now.
Also, if you're wearing an outfit that cool, you want some camera time.
The earrings are large playing cards, yeah. And
I always love to see her at the poker table. Not even when she's on camera, she always wears the really fun hats, and you know, she looks cute and cuddly, but she's like a Care Bear with teeth.
Yeah.
Hall
I
of
wanted
Fame
to
member.
mention also, she should be out of this tournament. I was at her table day 2. She just flatted queens to a 3-bet. A late position went cutoff button, 15K to 45K. She just flatted queens.
Wow.
Check folded an 8-7-6 all club board to black kings. She had red queens.
Really?
Didn't put in one more chip.
That's crazy. Sometimes I think some of the best poker players have sort of a sixth sense, like a little bit of a psychic premonition sometimes where I guess the stats would say, what's that thing that everyone does? Would say that you should call, but they just know that it's not. They're not ahead. There's a lot of big hands coming up very
Yeah,
early on.
Mookie's getting some big hands indeed. Ace Queen here. And she raises and she will take it down. So, yeah, I think I have that sense, but I ignore it. I was in a deep stack yesterday, and it was like short stack, all in, guy right behind just slams it in, and I look down at pocket kings, and it's like, he's got aces. Call.
Right.
You know?
Well, you can't start folding pocket kings.
You're right.
Yeah, somebody folded pocket kings to me once, Lucky Chewy, and I had aces. It was pretty
Really?
annoying. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then he packed up his chips and he went home. So he couldn't even get them later on.
One of my friends was bragging to me about how he folded pocket kings 3 times pre-flop. And I was like, wow, sick brag. And he goes, oh, I was wrong every time.
But he can do it. It can be done. And I think it was the very first World Series I ever did with Norman, where Helmuth folded kings pre-flop. He said, no one else in poker, and that's how I learned about Helmuth early on. The king showed the kings have folded.
And was he right?
I can't remember that far back.
You know what?
He was, yeah.
Sixth sense and always ignores it. Not always, obviously. One of the greatest poker players, Daniel Negron. So many times you hear him saying, like, oh, you have a flush, don't you? And then they show the flush after he calls. And he goes, I knew it.
It's emotional hedging.
Yes.
You're like, you lose the chips, but you feel a little better. You're like, I called it at least.
That's right.
It's like being upstuck, which was coined by your man
I
there.
love that.
You know, and yeah, I was right. I lost chips, but I was right, and I feel good. It's all about feeling better about yourself and continuing on with your game and shed the bad thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And that's key, I think. You have to have the confidence to play. And I haven't played live poker for a long, long time until yesterday when I arrived, and I decided to change things up, and I found that if you bet at the right time, people will fold. I was like, wow. But you didn't hear that from me. So Brooke, as she says, that's how people know me. So we're going to call her Brooke, Deborah Brooke, and she raised it 6-4, or she just limped to 6-4. And now Eisenberg with the raises. JJ Lou, freshly minted hotelier.
She lived with the 6-4 on the button. That's an interesting play, but I guess she has 4 million in chips, so she feels like she can.
She did tell me she
handle.
likes to play small cards
Right.
that are connectors. She likes to play small pots, and that's how she got here to this final table, looking for her first World Series of cash. So we can't say that it has always worked for her.
Right.
So we'll see.
The thing that's interesting about the final table here, it's 5-handed. So short-handed, you have to be a little more gambly because people aren't always going to wake up with ace, king, or pocket pairs. So the person that's more aggressive is going to pick up the blinds and antes, which are huge at this point. And also the 3 small stacks, it looks like, well, they have $1 million, but I mean, it could be sudden death at any time. So the big stacks, I think they're applying pressure on the small stacks and making their stacks bigger.
Brooke
I
and
think-
Brookie, the 2 big stacks.
I think that's why I would prefer, it's okay if Brooke wants to fold buttons when they're, bottom 10% hands, but I think she should be coming in for a raise, putting pressure on Eisenberg and Lou, who want to make some pay jumps against each other.
Yeah, I think it's probably better to come in for a raise on the button when you have a substandard hand, because now you're representing you have a better hand than you do, and it's easier to bluff the flop.
Brooke's been playing a lot of online in Delaware, where she lives. She actually lives right near where our President Joe Biden now has his beach house in Delaware. So she's been having fun. Her dog sitter has a party going at her house.
Really?
For this event. So
Oh, that's
congratulations and good luck to everyone who's been invited to the Dog Sitters Party
And
in
also,
Brooks' house.
Wanted to say good boy or good girl if you're watching at home.
Sit, sit. Let's try that. See if
It's
that
the
works.
second time that Eisenberg got King Jack in a row? Or did she have King Queen before? Oh, then actually
Wow,
ran into a
another
little
big hand for
trouble here.
Oki, yeah. Aoki, sorry.
Oki is gonna obviously raise her, and Ace Queen.
It's 11. I had just 12, 1.25.
You always hate to hear the big stack asking
Yep.
you that one. Especially when you have a playable hand
Mhm.
and you suspect that maybe they're pushing you around. Aoki might just, let's see what she's gonna do.
Aoki, as mentioned, finished second in the ladies event in 2014. She then went on to a huge cash in the main event. She said she never would have played the main event had she not had that deep run in the women's event. So
There really is such a thing as having a streak, and you know, and you see she's getting very good cards, and she's a big stack. Sometimes it's your time, and when you know how to play the cards, also.
I was gonna mention, I like that she didn't just jam for about 25 or 26 big blinds effective. She's gonna want to make this play when she doesn't have good cards too, and apply pressure to the short stack. So choosing just this, she had about a 6.5 big blind raise instead, gives her a chance to do this more often with worse cards.
And I gotta say, just seeing that camera shot right there, this is my first show of the year. It's so thrilling to be back to work.
It's really
How do you
nice.
guys feel about this whole WSOP?
Me too. You know, I'm just like I was saying to Jamie earlier. I'm just like so itching to get back to the felt, but obviously I'm a little nervous about the whole all
We all
the
are.
tables close together. But it's just really fun to be back here watching these ladies play.
There are a few scofflaws out there who are not putting a mask on or whatever, but I've found security have been talking to people. I've heard that poker players are talking to poker players, trying to, you know, keep everybody in line and make it safe for us all. So we can, I mean, they could shut this thing down tomorrow.
Yeah.
if they
But
wanted
what
to,
I
you
love
know?
about this time of the year, even if I'm not here, is the poker tweeters. And Jamie's the queen of poker tweeters.
Aw.
You know all about that.
She does enough for both.
But I love how people get really upset about things.
Oh yeah, we're like the grumpiest group of people in the world, poker players. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So
Easiest jobs in the world.
Yep.
here there's ace, ace, 5. Usually it's pretty good odds nobody has an ace. I think if Aoki bets, she could take it unless Eisenberg decides to get a little tricky because she's short stacked. She doesn't want to, so she's going to take a stab at it, and I think Aoki's probably going to call it.
Eisenberg with
Oh,
the bet,
no.
and Aoki does fold
Wow.
pocket pair.
Jimmy, aggressor goes to spoils.
Well, you see the overcard come out there with the two aces, and you think maybe,
Also,
maybe I can steal this one away. Outside of JJ Liu, Laura Eisenberg with really the best success on the felt. As you see, her bio board brought to you by GPI-THM, the live poker collective. She is a physician, a radiologist. She's set world records for skydiving. Some Silver Spring, not Silver Springs, as our buddy Norman Chad reminds us, because he's from Silver Spring, Maryland as well. So happy to have her out here. She looks very confident when I talked to her earlier. She's got a World Series of Poker circuit ring, the only hardware won by anybody at this table.
She's got one of the best coaches in the biz too. She's coached by Ape Styles, John Van Fleet. She was one of his first students, and she actually is a member of BBZ coaching now.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if she has some tricks up her sleeve. She works in Sims and does a lot of ICM work, which is very rare for a ladies event.
Raising a call.
So-
Aoki's been very blessed with cards so far, very active, and
That's how she won the WSOP Europe. Oh no, she won the WSOP Europe, but she said that she used to play that way for
She could have
practice.
posted no.
Do all these little dots of
So Cooley has ace 9 of spades, which is also, it's a super sexy hand. Somebody had that earlier.
is that when Phil
For a raise.
adopted the goggles to play poker?
No, that was earlier. He's always coming home from trips. I'm always like, really, I hope he comes home in one piece because he's sort of a daredevil. He likes adventure and excitement, but
Good.
you know, happily both of us are slowing down a little. So Cooley picks up the
It's a
lines and
different pace of life now, isn't it? You enjoying it that way?
Oh my God, we love life so much. I never realized how much we love life. You know, the older you get, the more you love life. Like, we don't want it to ever end. And you know, we get to our age, we
Yeah, at our age.
It's very poignant, yeah, you're like, wow.
Especially in the last year, a lot of people.
Unexpectedly, a lot of people, when you.
Yeah, it's very
story
sad.
about my trauma.
Well, let's see what JJ does first, so we'll get to your trauma.
I'm pretty sure she's gonna.
Trauma's gonna be put on hold right now.
So I don't know how she can fake anything when she's, you know, not playing, and they must know when she's got good cards, cause then she plays. So how do you fake people out?
This is good. Because the other girl's got good hand.
Seen Cooley in a lot of hands.
Yeah, she's difficult. Sometimes you get emotionally attached to a hand though, like
Queen ten of diamonds is bigger. Queen nine, not so much.
She's dealing with the grief.
And this is what she's done every time
She's
too.
mourning her hand.
She's mourning her hand. She wanted to play, you know, but that's the thing when you have a good hand like ace king, you don't want to see a flop. You don't want to let the other person out flop you.
No, I mean, knowing you have to crush the flop, you know, even to continue at that point. So Cooley will take it. Cooley now up to almost 1.3 million chips. Here we go. Preview of the all-female World Series poker event.
Don't as you want to play it. The price is right. Brooke made the price not
I'm glad
so
to see her 3-bet, but it needs to be bigger than
Tiny,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, you're out of position against 2 opponents. It should be somewhere about 450.
Yeah.
It may still, I don't think it's getting the job done here. She's pricing her in.
And I don't know if the other, players have noticed what, Brooke's tendency is, as we mentioned a couple times, small ball, the suited connectors. When she does this, it's kind of a sign that she's got a real hand, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty tight fold. It's mostly based on Cooley's stack being so short. She doesn't want to commit more chips, and she probably thinks that Brooke has a really good hand. But I actually think if Brooke wanted to keep the pot small, she could flat the 10th there. 3-betting is way better, but just a healthier size would be better. Got the job done though.
Well, you get paranoid. I mean, you're sitting here in your first World Series cash. You want it to be a great one, and you're gonna maybe reel it back. The final table, the most accomplished player of pretty much any woman almost in the game, with just the river card to come. JJ Liu needs a queen on the river, where she's out in 5th place. The river card, the 10 of hearts, and we are down to 4 players. JJ Liu with another strong performance, 5th place, wins over $26,000. Yes, she wanted so much more though.
Good game, JJ.
Maybe she hit a bobble on the draw. Then I hit a jar. I think I got the best hand, so I move all in. And I totally didn't expect it. She called me on the flop with the king high.
3 circuit events that she has cashed in. Seems to be a final table savant, is Cooley.
Oh, when he said that, she's had.
I was saying she has 11 Hendon Mob results and 8
Oh, wow.
final tables, now 9 for 12.
Well, the final table technique is a lot different from the start of a tournament or the middle of a tournament because it requires a lot more finesse and there's a lot more shoving and a lot less playing like suited connectors and things like that because it's so volatile in terms of the blinds and antes.
There's the big stack with a big hand again.
I think she's just a card deck today. Obviously, she got to the final table through her play, but sometimes you get really lucky at the final table. And
Blind on blind, too. Never trust a blind on blind situation, but Cooley has to just think.
She's got to fold at this point.
Nothing.
I always say when you're the small stack on the, yeah.
Now she's showing. She's shown twice.
Thank you for showing.
Yeah. See, this is what the ladies' events are. I'm gonna show you my hand. Thank you for showing.
It
Everybody's
is
so
really
nice.
funny though,
At some point, you want to show. I mean,
well, when you're doing that though, they shouldn't say thank you. It's like, this is so I could bluff you later.
Yeah,
And they're like,
exactly.
oh, thank you.
You know why? Because women are all empaths, and you know you get in that situation, and everybody doesn't want anyone to feel bad. So it's not like when you're playing with guys when they just want to destroy you. They'll bluff you out of like a huge pot and then show you the 2.
Jennifer, are you cold? Would you like a jacket?
I have a jacket.
You have a
Thank
jacket.
you. What a gentleman you are. Such a gentleman. Isn't he a gentleman?
Lana, I'm actually cold. Thank you.
You didn't look cold.
I'm kidding.
So four-handed, a lot of times nobody gets a hand, and so a lot of times whoever kind of tries to jump in there is going to take down the blinds and antes, which are considerable. So Cooley she understands that. She's gonna try to get in there. She's also a small line. And oh, this is not good.
And this is not good. This
She
is
might-
a very similar
she's
situation to
gonna
the
pull
saw.
in and she's gonna get called.
Oh, Brooke again
Sudden-
with the better.
Sudden death, and Brooke again thinking about it, like, could she possibly have 2-3?
Yeah, she
She'll
just
call,
knocked out JJ Lou in the same situation with a
She just
better
wants
jack.
to double check.
Oh my goodness.
Oh!
Wow, that was a
She's
wild
looking
hand.
for a bigger pair.
So you have 9-8 offsuit. You want to get value out of this hand, small blind versus big blind. You're going to want to make a smaller bet. But she actually accidentally bluffed with the hand and got a better 8 to fold, which is awesome for her. I was not expecting that.
I felt like she. Wow, that's
That one got by.
unexpected.
That one got through, yeah.
But you know, it's hard to argue with all in sometimes. I mean, that's a sizable part of the other girl's stack, and maybe she just didn't want to risk it. I got him out, and I guess he was really mad. He was a stunt man, and he just kept running at me.
What kind of league was this?
It was a celebrity game. That's the annoying thing. Broke my perfect nose,
Oh.
but I had it fixed, so all's well that ends
Yeah, I was
well.
going to say, it looks like you recovered nicely.
Yeah. So Brooke's got the old Doyle Brunson hand.
Yeah, you
And
see
she
how that worked out
also-
for her.
I think Brooke is, it's like I say, she wants to defend her big blind. She doesn't want people to push her around. And Cooley is a small blind. It's a small blind, big blind confrontation.
This will be the last hand of this level. Players are going to take a break. We're going to take a break as well. And
They'll all come back playing differently.
They
though.
will. They'll talk to their rails,
See what's
figure out
been
who's
going
got
on.
what. And
Yeah.
if you get ace 10, make sure you go all in. I guess is the key right here.
Maybe.
Been a long Jeff Chili, Jamie Kerstetter, I'm Lon McCarran. We are now down to 5. JJ Lou, the only victim so far of our 5-handed TV final table, goes out with over $26,000. Up top, champion with a gold bracelet and almost $116,000. One of these final 4 will win their very first World Series of Poker brand. The 1K WSOP Ladies Championship. We are down to our final 4 players as we take a look at this Cuervo leaderboard brought to you by Cuervo. There are no strangers. First place worth almost $116K. The next player to go out will win over $36,000. Pretty sizable jumps in between there. Our first one to go out, denying her after such a great career, JJ Lou, the 5th place finisher. But one of our final 4 will win that bracelet. It will be their very first bracelet. So glad you're back with us. About the middle of the month in the World Series of Poker. This is early on, 88 total events, and we're still in the 20s, so a long way to go. Plenty of events for you at home to come join. Weekend events, online events. Cooley, the short stack with just over $1 million, 10-9 suited on the button and raised 175. The blinds at 40 and 80,000 with an 80K big blind ante.
I like this play because she is on the button, and it's a very playable hand. And you know, you've got to mix it up a little bit, and not just always shove when you're in the short stack. Looks like Eisenberg is thinking of making a play here. Nobody likes to have their big blind targeted, especially a short table. It's a psychological game as much as anything
And a
else.
suited jack, you know.
She folds. So Cooley takes it down with some creative play.
Well, she's got a reputation, or she's, you know, they know that they might get shoved on,
Right.
or whatever. Who knows? But anyway, so it'll be Diane Cooley. 11 live results on NMOB 8 final tables, and so you take a look at her bio board brought to you by GPI THM, the live poker collective, works in banking, and she knows how to get deep, no matter what kind of tournament it is, but not a lot of money won at the World Series of Poker.
Everybody likes to have those World Series poker cashes on there, hitting them off. It looks so sweet.
Yeah, get the little logo and all
Right.
that, I guess.
I used to travel around the world on the tournament circuit, and everybody's collecting flags. They're like, I don't have a Danish flag yet. Those, the cashes
There
that
you
you
go.
have in the tournaments around the world.
What's your favorite flag other than U.S.? Of
I
course,
like,
the
well,
Canadian.
English. I love England. And the World Series Poker Europe was in England for quite a long time.
So is your
And I like the gay pride flag.
born in England, right?
Yeah.
Phil Locke born in
Oh, no, he's born in Ireland. So
Ireland. That's right. Same
Cooley
thing.
tries it again. She's not going to get it through here. She's raising a king 9 and she runs into ace king.
Okay, so Cooley with the raise, as you mentioned. It's a bird.
Yeah.
Eisenberg in the small blinds, yeah, going on a 3-bet, playing out of position, so not palatable for anyone.
Chip
Oh,
leader,
wow.
ace queen again.
Oh, big hand versus big hand. Alki
The
is
one thing we know, Cooley will not be in this hand long.
yeah, she's that's lucky for Cooley.
Yeah.
There you go.
Jams all in.
And I could call
Wow.
him short.
Ace queen
This
off.
could be a game changer.
Absolutely. So Cooley being squeezed, and she
Yeah.
has to feel lucky, she will feel lucky later on. That
She's doing a little Hollywood for later. She's
Mhm.
never gonna call. She doesn't want people to think she's been raising light in position.
And when Jen Tilly says they're Hollywooding, she knows what she's talking about.
I know about Hollywooding. People sometimes think like when you're on camera, like, oh, they're just getting some camera time, but it's, you know, it's kind of an important part of poker.
Yeah, but and while she's reaching,
No, she's
Counting?
No, she's Hollywooding.
she's
really-
Hollywooding.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm angry. I want her to fold right away.
She might actually be thinking 3 for 1, but she can't think her hand is good at this point.
No. Eisenberg waiting with ace king.
It's also too, someone once told me, you don't want to fold too quick. You want people to get that sick, anxious feeling when they're in hand with you.
But it's the ladies' event, Jen. Everybody loves each other, you said.
I would be very surprised if she calls.
That's wrong. And now Eisenberg.
Now, very good Hollywooding on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Cooley,
This,
I give you 10 out of 10.
This is like not quite as simple as it seems. You look at ace king and think, okay, you slam your chips in, no problem. With ICM, with there being a 10K pay jump, with Cooley being so short, this is a sick feeling if you're Eisenberg. You don't love this. You think when Auki 4-bet jams, her range is very, very strong. So while I do think ace king is a call, it's not an exciting call like it would be earlier in a tournament.
Eisenberg, the one who would be at risk, being tested for all of her chips right here. She's run deep in a lot of events. She's got a World Series of Poker circuit ring.
I have folded an ace king before, but I think when you're looking at four-handed in the fact that Alki's one of the chip leaders, it's a call, you know, but it's an icky feeling, like you say, Jamie.
The WPA and Poker Power, there's just really good people involved who really are invested in growing the game for women. And I feel like that helps a lot. You come into a poker room and you know some people, even if you're just in the Facebook group with them.
The females in this business are so supportive of each other. It's just really kind of wonderful.
And leading the pack, of course, forever, has been, Jan Fisher and Leonard Johnson.
They're great.
Just, with the poker cruises and Hall of Famers, it just, all the credit in the world has to go to them. 2 queens gonna see the flop. There is
Cooley out flops Brooke.
Yep. Pair of 7s for Cooley.
And Brooke, in the big blind, you're not going to put her on an ace unless she's super crafty and lucky. So this looks like probably a bet and take it.
That's a really good point too. The way that the action was as well, and with Cooley being so short, you would expect an ace to get jammed. You'd expect Brooke, after Cooley limps, to jam any ace. So really you can ignore the ace in this flop. Because neither player should really have one.
Right. Once in a while they do though.
Sometimes someone's trapping. Small blind can definitely be trapping there. But rarely.
All right, Cooley will take that up to almost 1.1 million. And how about this? Poker After Dark. Jen was talking about it. Norman Chad on the break.
I'm sorry, and all
We'll get
in.
that in a second. Cooley with the ace and all in for 1.1
It's
million.
a pretty standard play, especially being on the button. She might get called by the ace-6, especially because Eisenberg is a big stack, and so it kind of looks like a short stack button play.
Look at an official count. We're guessing it's around 1.1 million. Jamie's been writing the numbers down as we go. Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate it.
No problem.
She almost folded ace king.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Slightly different situation.
And she folds. She
I
folds.
think this is more of a stack preservation kind of fold. Like
Yeah.
she's doing really well, and she's gonna be able to put some pressure on people without having to be the one calling off.
Yeah, and you play differently at the final table, like I said, than you would earlier in the tournament, because, you know.
This is ICM world right here,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Every
It's
move
the
fits
e-ticket
in.
rise on that. So, okay, Brandon and Norman Chad, you had a quiz for you, Gene.
Oh no, stories like that before.
Oh, yes, there
I
have.
won't name
We
names.
watched, so think about that, folks, for a
All right.
moment. Cooley now with pocket nines, still a short stack at about 1.3 million.
It's probably a shove. You don't want somebody to outflop you there with your nines. It's very hard to argue with an all-in.
Absolutely.
Agree. And if you're
But she's
raising,
cutting
you
out a
are,
raise,
you
it
are
looks
raising
like.
to call all in if someone
She's-
jams on you.
yeah.
Nines is just too strong four-handed.
Alright, so let's see what's happening behind in the small blind. Ooh, pocket pair
Okay.
for Brooke. Just a call, nothing for her. Now Eisenberg folds the big, king four. Oh no, now it's the small, now 8-7 suited for the hockey. Not too much for her.
And now he comes along for the ride. It must be fun to play 7-8 after suited after a jam fest.
Right.
The final table usually is. And she
Two
brings up a flush
spades
draw.
in there.
Also, you have two scare cards, the 2 over cards, and you've got 3 people in the pot.
So Cooley is first with the best hand, pocket nines.
I don't see her betting unless she's making her hand into a bluff.
She didn't want to see any callers behind her.
Right,
And then
right.
to have that flop come out.
Well, look at her
Look at
go.
this. What do we know?
There's a reason she's made all those final tables. She's aggressive and she's got moves.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And there were no raises behind her.
Yeah.
This should be a flop that favors the pre-flop raiser. It's just a little scary when you're three-handed and it's a connected board with a flush draw. It's really hard to shake your opponents, both of them, for them to have nothing on this board.
Alki's gonna call, and if a flush doesn't come on the turn, Alki can probably take it away. I'm guessing because Cooley's, like, again, she's asking a question.
200,000 each. Suffer fold. Turn card. It's black, but a club. Alki has the action.
Let's see if Cooley has another barrel in her. It's a lot scary, precarious situation for her with a 900K stack and a 1 million chip pot. What size can she really pick here that doesn't just put her in a really bad spot?
I would say if she goes all in, she can get Alki to fold. But she just, there you go.
There it
Look
is.
at that. But she also didn't, that's great
Some of-
because she didn't know what Alki had. And Alki is asking,
Yeah.
try to figure out.
She,
Alki's probably gonna fold.
yeah, I think she's got
Cards.
PTSD from the last hand she
Yeah,
lost.
yeah.
You know,
It's like,
so.
she's like, I don't wanna be number 4 chips. And there
Exactly.
she goes. Good move by Cooley.
Well, it worked out,
What
you
a
know, a
mess.
little unorthodox by everybody we
Right.
were feeling here in the booth, but it worked out how we
Worst
thought it
feeling
would work
ever.
out. Yeah, right.
when Aoki sighs and calls, and you
Yeah.
just know you have 2 outs, like, oops.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And to see the 2 match suits out there.
She basically turned her hand into a bluff.
Yeah.
She used being the pre-flop
Good point.
aggressor to her advantage.
So nicely done, Diane Cooley, now up to almost 2 million as the chip stamps are starting to get a little more similar. There's Cooley's friends here, checking things out. Diane Cooley, mentioned from Georgia, your new home out there. So, okay, so the quiz was how do you, and not a rebound counselor said, no, wait, maybe somebody else will bust during this time.
Good old
Somebody
Alan
else
Counselor.
busted
Yeah.
on the bubble.
Wow.
And they came up, a $1,500 event, they wound up with $1,200 each.
That was a good puzzle.
Yeah, I wish I knew when I ran into him before, because I would have been like, wow, you made like negative $10 hourly. Good job.
He didn't seem his usual jolly self. He must have just busted out when I
Really?
ran in and was like, Norman Chad.
Wait a minute.
I love you.
Bubbly
She just
self.
said he-
She did say that.
Jolly self.
Yeah.
What did
Yeah.
I say? What did I say?
He said his
Jolly.
normal jolly self?
Yeah,
Who are you talking to?
he's a jolly curmudgeon.
Maybe he's just never happy to see us.
Here we've got
That's
a
very
flush
possible.
draw for
She
Cooley.
just
Flop.
tired of
And
us, you
2
know.
pair for Alki. This
Middle and bottom for out.
top pair. I think that
Wow,
this
that's
is all in
everything, that flop is everything everybody wants.
Top pair pair and a flush draw and two pair, I think there's gonna be some sort of shovery-dovery and a call here, unless they're both traffic.
Is Cooley up for this? For a shove here?
I think
Yeah.
so. She thinks she's gonna get called. You wanna
But
get
she has
called.
2 million
She
now.
shouldn't
They
shove
have
though.
similar
Like,
stacks.
This is a hand you want to get value out of. You top pair and you have a really good flush draw, and you're too deep stack to be shoving. But you can put in a raise here if you want. You could play it slow also and let Aoki keep betting.
If she picks
Everything
up
gets
a vibe
called.
off of Aoki, that Aoki's strong, I mean, she's gonna want to get, I don't wanna get it in with queen, but you know, how would you know that Aoki
Yeah, you have such a
so strong?
stranglehold on his flop.
Yeah.
that I like just calling much more.
For all your folks who complain about what happens on the board for your games, take a look at this. It happens to everyone.
The thing-
Somebody's gonna come up really angry here.
The thing is, if you're two pair and it's your small pair and there's a straight draw and a flush draw out there, and even if Kula just has a queen, I kinda wanna get in on
Oh,
you still
Aoki
have
wants to get
two
tons
pair.
of chips in this pot. I think Cooley is better off though playing this slow, just knowing that there aren't many bad cards for you.
No, I'm saying Aoki, like, now, what if she has queen nine? Then your two pairs not good. But I like that, yes, everyone's has a lot more finesse than I do.
You're like, let's
shove
get it.
in.
Yeah, actually, you're like, let's just get all these chips in. I'm like, man, I don't want to play with you.
Let's go! Wow.
25 from Aoki.
There you go.
There it is.
There you go.
All in with just top pair and the flush draw. Aoki with 2 pair.
Top pair and a flush draw is such a strong hand. But there's only one card to count now at this point.
About the same as you have.
Yeah, with the board being so draw heavy, I don't see Aoki holding this.
Yeah.
Having the flush draw out there, and also the 9 is kind of an interesting card. You can be up against.
Yeah.
So
She's gotta be worried about
Combo draws.
queen nine, set, you know.
Cooley would be the player all in, according to our count.
Yeah.
And it would put Aoki, if she can fade the river, if this all goes as we think, and put her back.
Maybe they can
over
run
4
it
million.
twice. That's definitely a run it twice type situation in a cash
Yeah.
game.
Right?
Oh, this is an intense hand for sure.
Cooley with the shove. Are you surprised she didn't shove? We talked about her shoving the flop.
No, it was too much.
Yeah.
Your hand is
Oh,
too
you
good.
mentioned- yeah, you're right. Okay. And Aoki, again, that look on her face tells me, I can't
I
get away
can't
from
wait.
this.
No, I think she's like.
Oh, you think she can't wait? I think
No,
she-
no, I'm
oh,
saying
okay.
she's like, I can't win, she's gonna call, but she's just,
Right.
she's upset at the shove, cause now it just raises so many questions, you know.
Questions are big money and that bracelet on the line.
There are a lot of hands that can beat her at this point. Like, you gotta rule out set of 3, set of 5s, cause you have a 5 and a 3, so.
And you have to rule out queens because it would have been re-raised free. And 9s.
And Aoki
You
was
have
one to
feel
raise
pretty
and she just
good,
got
yeah.
called by Cooley.
That's what I'm saying. You can rule out a lot of the hands that are beating you because they would have 3-bet you
Right.
Queens and 9s would probably 3-bet, and you're holding a 5 and a 3, so you're not as worried about
Yeah.
And it's not queen 9 either.
Right.
Yeah.
I think she's worried about queen 9 and a set of 9s.
Is she calling with queen 9? Free flop?
Yeah.
Alright.
Queen 9 suited.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a very
But she,
big bet.
yeah.
It's hard, you know, Aoki was the chip lead. Oh,
they're doing chatting.
Somebody's talking at the poker table during a hand.
Weird.
And that is strange.
Sorry for talking over, but it sounded like a will you show if I fold kind of question.
Talking is a good way to get information out of your opponent, and be called.
Said suit show, which would indicate, I think, I have a hand?
I'm just surprised that there's chit chat going on that's not involving this big hand.
I just don't understand.
That's ladies for you.
Unless she's playing scared poker, you know, can you get away from this?
It's a big decision. So
It
she's-
is, absolutely. I
She's thinking
don't
it
discount
through.
that at all.
Yeah.
And especially if she lost half her stack to Eisenberg recently, you know, and she's been in control for so long, and you just
Yeah.
don't want to finish
yeah, absolutely. You're so close, and if there's a ton of.
Alki with no club in her hand has to factor in a little bit too. You gotta give your opponent some more draws.
My two ladies are just chit-chatting. It's like,
They are,
it
yeah,
could
they're
be
in the middle.
interesting what's going on here.
This is no crosstalk. Mikio Aoki, with a decision basically for her tournament life, even though she wouldn't be the one all in. Very close chip stack. She has Cooley tipped on the chips. But even with the two pair, it could all come crumbling down with a disastrous river card for her, and Cooley would have a monster stack. And she does find a fold with two pair.
Oh,
It's bad news.
I'm not happy. You know, but you never know what the river card would have come.
We really need the rabbit hunt.
Yeah, at this point, we'd love to see the rabbit hunt. Let's see what they're saying.
Was that your hand? That was your hand? Oh, I thought that was her hand.
No, better than that.
That makes a whole lot more sense. Thank you. Nice hand. You had it all.
Cooley is really, she's been very aggressive and, made some good moves here.
And Ginger in the box gave her some nice cards, just to cool off, 7-4, fold, and just kind of think about it. Because that sticks with you, right? I mean, you're going to think about that for a while, don't you?
Yeah, it's nice if you can just kind of compartmentalize that and say, I'll go over this hand later and
Yeah.
talk to some people about it and like just on to the next one, but it's easier said than done.
Yeah, just shake it off and move on.
So, after the wash, it's Cooley with 2.4 million. Still third place is Alki as the short stack.
Cooley might have, I don't know if it's strategy, but she might have thought that she's doing him a favor to say like, I have this monster, to be nice and everything like that, and didn't realize how much it would get into Alki's mind. And you can see she's thinking about the hand that came before.
Brooke, getting her cards dealt to her, small suited connectors. Three players, it's one. He's high.
Cooley has the best hand here with King 10.
Hasn't played a lot of big tournaments, but she said that the final tables she's been making have really helped her confidence, helped her game. She understands the game better, and this tournament has really increased her knowledge of where she's at, what to do in certain situations.
Confidence is a big thing in poker. I've noticed a phenomenon where a person wins a poker tournament and they go on to win a few more after that, then have a great summer
It
because.
makes a lot of sense too, because confidence makes you be a little more aggressive. You
Yeah.
like you see spots a little more clearly and you take them instead of being afraid and just blinding down. So you do get in bigger clashes and that's how you win tournaments.
Absolutely. Take a look at her bio board, brought to you by GPITHN, the Live Poker Collective, 52 years old. Lives now in Alpharetta, Georgia. Graduated College of New Jersey. You're from New Jersey? You're from near the College of New Jersey?
I'm kind of near there. Yeah, I went to Rutgers.
Okay.
That's where Chucky is from too.
Oh.
Hackensack.
Oh wow, I lived in Hackensack. I used
Did
to
you
work there.
really?
So the series debuted on Sci-Fi and USA this last Tuesday. Unfortunately, the Giants Dodgers are playing. I missed it.
That's okay. You can catch it in the reruns.
Got some great reviews.
Yeah, it's not
94% on the tomato meter,
Yeah.
19 reviews.
Very
Awesome.
nice.
People love
You've been
it.
having a lot of fun. You've been very active on social media as you shoot
Oh gosh,
here and
yeah.
there.
I feel bad for my poker followers because it's been nonstop Chucky for the last few months.
No.
The only thing bad about when you're being really successful in Hollywood is that you kind of disappear from poker for short bouts.
That
I'm
is
like
true.
playing this game, like can't.
Right.
I
Yeah.
still root for you.
So how's the series been versus the feature film?
Everybody's got an ace here. We have two
Oh, they
suited
do.
aces and one ace.
So we know an ace is not coming. We don't
Yeah,
need to
right.
talk about this.
Right.
But has it been a different experience,
I
the
love
series?
I love doing this series. There's actually more money in television in terms of production values and everything than there is in making the films because they're got a flush draw here for Brooke.
Gutterball for Cooley.
Or checks the best hand?
Well,
she's been paying attention. Brooke has been checking and folding to people who tend to, go ahead and venture.
Well, she's not gonna fold this, I mean, he's 7.
No, you're right, you're right.
You should maybe try to keep the pot small
But that's
so
what
she
keeps
can,
chips in the middle, yeah.
Yeah.
She likes to play the smaller pots, that's
Right.
the check.
Small ball, okay.
That's what she told me.
Is that what she said? No, she's not, she's probably not too happy about this.
And
But
when,
now she's gonna bet, looks like.
in the early days of Dan on the Ground, we talked about small ball, we all misconstrued that he liked small pots or small cards, and we thought, oh, this is Daniel's wheelhouse, but he was kind of controlling the size of the pot, that's right. Well, Brooke is saying she likes both, control the size of the pot, and she likes the small connect.
She might.
Means everything's run off, and she gets a 4.
Stopping would be pretty effective here, as we see the other players do flop anything.
Checked around. Now, the 9 out there, and that hits Cooley, so Aoki coming up short.
Cooley.
I mean, I think if you hit anything in the flop, you have to shove.
I would think so, but you've been playing for so long, there's 2 other people that.
Play the damn game properly, okay, Jen?
Yeah. You have separation anxiety from the tournament.
Oh, I can
It's like
imagine.
an emotional connection.
I
that
was
you have
really
with
worried
this
about
guy.
Jamie
I just got over it.
announcing a
I got
tournament that you
49th
got
in this one.
busted.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm still not over it.
Nice run.
Just cry a little bit on every break. So I'm
Yeah. Not just from working with us, how about the game?
Oh,
and she
now I
remembered
know.
2 pair.
She folded. Okay.
Yeah.
Now she's like, ugh.
Yeah. She folded the 2 pair against Cooley before when she had the best of it.
Yeah.
A huge pot. Just
But
bad luck. Just bad luck. Again, it was a right fold.
When Cooley bats and gets called by Brooke,
Oh, yeah, you have to
I
fold.
think you're
Yeah,
like,
it's
I'm
good.
not.
It goes back to the flop. Where you gonna shove the flop?
Yeah.
She might have been planning to check jam the flop.
Mhm.
Wouldn't have been terrible.
Possible. And pull mine up.
Every time I'm getting ready to check raise, everyone checks behind me and then
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a televised game, you wanna say, no, I was gonna check raise. I'm not like,
Just to let everyone know at home, I was gonna check her. Right. Not afraid.
yeah. I had a move play on. It would make everybody gasp in astonishment.
So sexy. Check raises are so
I love
sexy.
check raising. Check raise.
Didn't there used to be rules against it in Carter's, like no sandbagging?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
The home
at
game.
home game.
No check raising.
That's so rude, yeah, no check raising.
What? It's like,
No having sex with the massage girl. Oh,
That's a different
that's a
rule.
different.
that's my dark bio. All right, Brooke will take it down. It's a big pocket pair in a while.
Yeah,
Cooley now with queens.
and then I'm imagining she's gonna raise, I think, she has too much to actually shove, she probably wants to get some action on her queens. She might do a little trappity-dappity.
She's definitely been with Phil Lock too.
Yep.
Yeah, he does like that, he does speak his own language, for sure.
And there's no such thing as being with Phil Lock for too long.
Yeah,
He's
that's
like a
right.
wonderful person.
Thank you, Jean.
You're welcome.
Strong.
Yeah.
Very nice. You're fired.
Looks like she went for the raise there. Wants to get some money in. And, and here we've got a quick fold from Brooke. And Eisenberg, she's got a big stack, she might
The
wanna.
3-bet is so small that you just have to peel here with even 9.
Yeah. And especially a lot of times when you have like a suited connectors,
You could crack things.
even if, you put the other person on a big pocket pair and you know you can get the whole stack if you bounce, the flop bounces the right way.
Yeah, I feel like Cooley's really small 3-bet sizing puts Eisenberg on notice that she has a big hand, and you're happy then. You're like, okay, I know I have to crack.
Yeah, it's weird, you kinda wanna call, but oh, look at this. There you go. And an ace. Cooley is not
She
gonna
can-
like that ace.
Eisenberg can see a cheap turn card, I would imagine here.
Well, if Cooley bets, she's gonna maybe bet just to see if Eisenberg has, oh, no, she's checking. Yeah, you're right.
Ooh, a raise raising eyebrows. See that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really? Why are you checking
Okay,
there?
all right.
Oh,
Oh, and a spade.
Almost
And
a
a
straight
straight
flush.
flush, yeah.
Straight flush draw.
It's still out there.
Cooley's still
Look
alive
at
with the
that.
Queen of Spades.
So sexy to see.
But
And
the seven of spades, how ugly would that be?
oh gosh,
Depends which player
it'd be,
you are.
it'd be insult to injury. The seven of
Just in
spades.
general, poker.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's just Cooley just had a run of bad luck with that flop, and I think she.
And we've seen Eisenberg do this before. She heads the hand and bets it. You
Yeah.
know, it's no slow player.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, and
wow.
oh, wow!
That can't be good.
Well, she
That
does
can't
that
be good.
She
A
does-
snap call, and so
She has that
everything
queen
but
high
the
flush.
seven of spades in play.
And she's got 6 outs, so I'm sure that was into her
Queen's versus
thinking.
the flush. She has the over spade.
Cooley at risk. Eisenberg with the flush, a straight flush possibility, which she doesn't need.
That was a dumb lead out.
So Cooley on the hook. Eisenberg with a chance for another huge knockout.
If she didn't have
Whatever
the queen
pot.
of spades, she would not have done the shove. She's
Right.
like, I also have the spade drop before flush.
Welcome to swing. Here is the river card. It is another black four.
That was it.
Yeah, but it cannot be. And that will do it. Diane Cooley knocked out. A terrific run for her.
Good game, Cooley.
4th place worth $36,269.
Gotta admire these ladies and how hard they're fighting and how well they're playing.
And how classy they are.
Yeah, so classy.
Nice run for Cooley. And wow, we gotta talk about Aoki here. Page upping with
Yes.
5 big blinds. Just
Yes.
watching that carnage happen
And
and
that's-
knowing she's
yeah.
profiting from it. It's a
Exactly.
great feeling.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for
Yeah, she
sure.
just,
It's amazing.
How much was her page up there?
It's going to be 14,000. The next one.
That's not pocket change.
No,
Seriously.
it's not.
That's a main event.